What's up, guys? It's your girl Rivah, and I'm back again with another video. If you're new to this channel, hi, my name is Rivah. It's very nice to meet you. Before we get into this video, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up. And as I always say, make sure you guys leave your comments in the comment section down below. It does not matter how you feel about this video. We all want to talk about it. Also, if you're not following me on Instagram, follow my Instagram. It's at RIVAH_JORDON. And we're going to go ahead and jump right into the video.
No, my audio is great, actually. I double-checked it.
Hey, Lodge, did you care to answer the question, ma'am?
I asked him a question. Did his son have test scores worthy of scholarship? No, because we're using an example, and now y'all want to go down rabbit holes with the goalposts, and now it's another example, now it's another example.
I've been using the same one. I said, if your son
why are we having this conversation? Does your child have, you talking about opportunity, do they have the opportunity to go to Harvard?
Yes, I said if they had a scholarship to Harvard and a scholarship to Morehouse, as a mom that's looking out for the best interest of their child, what would you advise them to go?
Harvard.
I'll probably advise them to go to Harvard. Obviously, Harvard is an Ivy League school.
And that was my only point. The best option available. That's it.
It's not about... Okay, again, you're making it about the best option available, and I'm talking about the best option available for your child. Yeah, we could talk about this hypothetical, but can your child get into Harvard? If they can't, then what like...
Okay, so, okay. If your child had a scholarship to go to Harvard, or they had the scholarship to go to Morehouse, as a parent, where would you advise your child to go? Obviously, it's going to be Harvard. You know, when somebody just even on their resume, right? When they say that they went to Harvard, that's it. Like, they got the job, like, getting paid top dollar, like, it is what it is already. Like, you already know that because it's like a huge name, obviously, right? But she's saying, Kayla is saying to Mr. Logic, well, but we should be talking about the schools that your kids really qualify, because does your son or your child really even qualify for Harvard? But I think that the point that Mr. Logic was making in this snippet was just, it's not about going to, it's just about you making the best decision for your child and not 100% just wanting your child to go to an HBCU for the culture, for the this, for the that. Like, you just wanting your child to get the best education possible. So if it is going to be at Morehouse or a different school, then it's going to be Morehouse. You know what I'm saying? If Morehouse is the best option. Now, if it's not the best option and you have Princeton, right, for example, or Morehouse, you're going to make sure that your child goes to Princeton because that's the best option. So I think he was just saying that you're always going to want to choose the best option for your child instead of choosing your child to go to a certain school just based off of like HBCU or like, loyalty to the HBCUs and stuff like that. Which I think that's completely logical. Like, that makes 100% sense.
What do we, you know what I'm saying? Just based on the percentage of people that are actually eligible, that Harvard is actually looking for. It's so small.
Right. Like, okay, come back. I'm coming to you, Kay. I forgot about you. Come back, Kay.
Here's the thing. You were saying something hypothetical. You were saying something hypothetical, but then she was getting more specific, talking about your son, since you said, you brought it up, your family, his mom talking about subpar schools, and we're like, okay. When you say subpar, it's kind of degrading when you're talking about an HBCU, it's subpar. So I don't like the terminology. However, does your son make the grades to get into an Ivy League school? That was the question specifically for you.
It doesn't matter if he makes
here's an example
with the point I made.
Now, y'all are missing his point.
I 100% agree with him in the fact that he's like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you like the terminology, don't like it. It doesn't matter how you feel. It was an example of just two options, one being like an HBCU and one being, Harvard, an Ivy League school, and you making a decision between the two because it's going to be the best for your child. So I think he was just talking about separating again from that, like, oh, my kid, I went to this HBCU, so my kid got to go there, so my kid got to do this, and my kid got to do that. When if your kid has the opportunity to go to HBCU, Princeton, something like that, that they make that decision instead.
We're not missing the point. It's two questions.
Hold on, y'all. One at a time, y'all.
It's two questions.
But what is that?
And now we're asking a whole different question to make a whole nother point.
Yes. That's
no,
exactly
the example I used earlier when I used my son as the example is I was saying that he wants to go to school for finance. Mm-hmm. Once he get that opportunity, we would look at the list and we would pick the best school available. We would not pick it based off a black experience. That would not be one of the criteria for us picking that school. We would pick the best school available. Right. That's why I use the Harvard and Morehouse analogy, saying that, hey, would you pick Morehouse when you know he got an option for a better school?
Okay. Well, you didn't say that at the beginning.
I said it a gazillion times.
He said it a couple of times.
Thank you, Island. Let me talk to Mr. Logic. So, Ms. Logic, what we heard was this, and Kayla, tell me if I'm wrong. You was like, she wants him to have a black experience, and you said, well, I don't care about him going to a subpar school, and two things can happen at the same time.
Yes.
One of those top 10 schools in finance can also be an HBCU. So he can still have a black experience and go to an amazing school. That's the point that I believe we were trying to make.
And you can also go to a white school and it be a subpar school.
Why is it so important?
I think that one of the things, right, and this goes to people who are I'm not going to say that. But what I am going to say is that there comes this point where some people get so far off into the deep end that they're defending this whole thing that didn't need to be defended in the first place. Like, I don't think, Mr. Logic as a black person or as a black man, they're having a panel of these conversations about the best opportunity for your child. He's not saying or negating anything about, in this clip, I don't know about the whole conversation, but in this specific conversation, I don't see him saying anything derogatory about any HBCU. He's just saying that he's just not going to send his child to an HBCU just because if his child has a different or Ivy League better option. You know what I'm saying? He's going to allow his child to go to the best option. He's not just going to, again, stick with the HBCU just because, like you're supposed to. I don't know if it's because like they both went to HBCU, so they kind of feel like some type of way about it, or what the situation is. But I don't think it was I don't think it needed to be like defended. I'm trying to figure out where the discrepancy lies.
HBCUs that are better than half
because me, I just like to cut through the bullshit.
You can go to a very white school and it can be subpar education. So
now I'm gonna give you another real life experience. So I'm gonna knock this upside the head, right?
Don't do it, Logic.
Yes, I'm fin to.
I was
an Army ROT instructor for University of North Carolina and for a North Carolina A&T, right? It was no comparing the two. Half of my students that was in ROTC freshmen, before they made it to their junior year, they got pregnant. So now if you want to get into the real, we can get into the real. And then the thing about this is that if you go to UNC, it's just that they just had a different level of responsibility because of they tribe held them to a different standard than North Carolina A&T. It was no tribe. So not just pregnancy rate, the party, I don't understand how these kids did it, but they party. And I'm going to give you another example. They party and they was having orgies, unprotected sex on both ends. And only one end came out with kids. So like I said, that black experience got a lot of daggers to come with it. And I don't want my son in it. It is a subpar environment.
Well, it definitely is not. Being that I graduated from an...
Okay, well, there it goes. There's a part why they're getting a little offensive, okay? And they are defending their HBCU because that was a very broad statement. That was a very, that's OD. Like, he went in. He really did. But at the end of the day, he's speaking from a place of what he experienced at those schools and what he saw, so we can't negate the fact that that's exactly what he saw as well. Even if that's not everyone's experience, that we can't like say that that's not valid for him to point that out. If that's what he saw around him, that means that it is something that is occurring. So, wow.
HBCU, and I didn't get pregnant, and I wasn't in orgies, and I don't know anyone that was in orgies in HBCU. So it's not subpar. Matter of fact, the men that I know, the women that I know that are doctors and lawyers also graduated from HBCU. As a matter of fact, the majority of black people, the majority of doctors come out of HBCUs that are black. The majority of lawyers, black, come from HBCUs. So HBCUs are actually amazing for black people that go, because they are the ones that are pushing out doctors, lawyers.
But are y'all discounting what his experience, what he just said?
But that's his experience. That's not my experience. So we can fight on experience.
So, okay, so I'm going to be honest. I have absolutely no, like, dog in the fight in this conversation. When it comes to HBCUs, regular schools, like, I have no dog in the fight. But one thing that I can say, and this is only based off of my knowledge of, don't beat me up for this in the comments, please, but this is only based off of my knowledge from what I see like on social media and stuff like that, right? When I do see the people, the people that go to like the HBCUs and they are like the doctors, the lawyers, the businessmen and the young men that go to these schools, they do have a sense of community, and I do feel like they love their HBCUs, but they are like very progressive. So to the point that she just said, I do see that. I do see that very often. I do see that it's not like you go to those schools and nothing happens and they don't produce any successful people. Like, I do feel like a great number of people that I see, like I said, on social media, that's the only place that I can speak from. When it comes to the HBCUs, they are, furthering their career and they do become very successful, as well as people who go to any school, that I see. But I'm just talking about the HBCUs that I do see that people do go to. So, that's what I'm saying. What Mr. Logic said was a very, very broad statement. However, I agree with what Anton said. Like, that was his experience that he saw. So we can't act like that just never happened, possibly ever, if he's stating from his level of experience as well. It can be two different, they obviously didn't even go to the same school. So there's so many things that go into play when it comes to that.
The question. You didn't even hear the question. Okay. Are y'all discounting his experience just because y'all went to HBCUs? Because two things can be true at the same time.
No. Right. You're absolutely right. No, we're not. We're just giving our experience as well.
I'm just pushing back on the subpar. I'm not going to accept that.
But see, y'all get. It seems like y'all get.
Well, I'm not going to lie though, but at first I was like, I don't understand like why they feel like they have to defend something, because I didn't see him say anything wrong. But now after he said that statement, that's where there's obviously a piece of the conversation that's missing in this video, but that's why I can understand why they were like kind of like, no, hold up, because his true feelings came out about how he feels about the entire situation. And it's, that can say something about the experience that they had when they didn't even have that experience, so they want to show how much that they don't agree with that based off of that not being their experience. And I completely understand that.
It can be, he could do whatever he wants with his son. But what I'm not going to do is accept you saying that HBCUs are subpar. I'm not going to.
It's not about accepting. Like, do you understand what he's saying?
I mean, listen, the one thing that Kay has brought to this show, and I will give her the utmost credit forever, is that this is something that you can research. When he used his example and then he gave the context about finance specifically, this is not something that can be disputed. You can literally go and find the information yourself. What are we talking? What does feelings have to do with the fact? I'm speaking
about my experience.
Hold on. But this ain't got nothing to do with your experience. This don't have anything to do with your experience. Your experience. I don't care. You're not gonna overtalk me, because I was just talking. I was making my point.
Go ahead.
I was very patient. But the point that I'm making is that we don't care about your experience, because that was not the example by which he was making his point. Right. He was making his point to illustrate that in the larger scheme of things, what we identify as culture has no relevance on what it is that we're trying to solve when it comes to getting the results that we want, especially for the people that we love.
Valid take. I genuinely want to know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. Like the people who went to colleges, HBCUs, not HBCUs. Like, what do you guys feel about the dialogue that they had between each other? You know, like I said, I have no dog in the fight, so I am not, you know, I don't know anything about the experience, to be genuinely honest with you. So let me know what you guys think about this. I'm really, really intrigued on what you guys feel. Do you feel that, you know, Mr. Logic was right or not right? Or how do you guys feel about that? Make sure you guys leave a comment, hit that subscribe button, and give this video a thumbs up. And again, if you're not following me on Instagram, follow my Instagram. It's at RIVAH_JORDON. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Love you.